You have probably heard financial advisors suggest putting your money into the low-cost S&P 500 index fund. They often mention that actively managed mutual funds don't perform as well as the index. But have you ever wondered why? In this video, I'll explain a theory called efficient market hypothesis, created by Nobel laureate economist Eugene Fama in 1970. This theory explains the fundamental reason why it is tough for actively managed funds to outperform the index. I'll explain the theory in a super simple way so that everyone can easily understand it. I'll also cover two important reasons why investing in active mutual funds might still not be the best bet to get returns more than the index. My name is Kanak and welcome back to my channel. Your support is what keeps this channel running, and if you find this video helpful, then show your support by liking and subscribing to the channel. Let me demonstrate the efficient market hypothesis using a simple example. Let's say the current stock price of Microsoft is $100. Now Microsoft CEO announces that they have launched a new product that will boost the company's profit by 10%. As soon as the news breaks out, the stock price quickly jumps from $100 to $110. The reason this stock price increase happened was because all the active investors in the market figured that with this new product, Microsoft's true value went up from $100 to $110. So the new stock price already incorporated this fresh information about the company. Now let's say you get the good news a day later and decide to buy Microsoft stock at $110, hoping it will go even higher when the company will post its profit 1 year later. Unfortunately, 1 year later, when the company posts its profit increase of 10%, you don't see any price increase. So why did this happen? That's because by the time you made your move, the market had already factored in this public information, and buying based on what is already known did not give you any extra advantage to outperform the other investors in the market. This is basically what the efficient market hypothesis is all about. In simple terms, the efficient market hypothesis says that the stock prices already include all the information that's out there for everyone to know. So if you're trading based on this information, you probably won't have any special advantage to do better than the overall market. You might have heard the term wisdom of crowd, and the efficient market hypothesis is nothing but a theory based on the concept of wisdom of crowd. It is a concept that suggests that a large group of people collectively tend to make more accurate decisions or predictions than an individual or a small group of experts. Individuals in the group have different pieces of information and varying insights. As a result, errors or biases of individual opinions may cancel each other out, and the average or collective decision ends up being closer to the truth. So the prime reason the fund managers find it difficult to beat the market is because their limited expertise cannot outsmart the wisdom of the crowd. Now, just because a mutual fund is actively managed does not automatically mean it is going to do worse than the overall market. Some of them actually do better. But here's the thing, even if a fund beats the market, it might still not be the best choice for you. And the reason is fees. Imagine a mutual fund outperforms the market by 1%. Sounds good, right? But if they charge you a fee of 1.5%, you're actually making 0.5% less than if you had just invested in the index. To break even with the market, the mutual fund has to outperform it by at least percentage of the fees they charge. So when you take into account these fees, most mutual funds end up doing worse than investing in the overall market. The third big reason mutual funds often don't do well is because they lack consistency in outperforming the market. Studies show that if a fund does really well in one period, it is likely to do not so great in the next. This happens because of something called reversion to the mean. Reversion to the mean is a concept that suggests things tend to go back to their average or normal levels over time. It is like gravity. What goes up eventually comes down. If you look at a period of 5 years, you will find some funds that will outperform the market. But if you stretch your period to 10 or 20 years, more than 95% of those funds end up doing worse than the market. So as an investor, the chances of you picking a mutual fund that consistently beats the market for a decade or two are pretty low, less than 1 in 20. As John Bogle famously said, pick the haystack instead of trying to pick a needle in the haystack. So in a nutshell, mutual funds fail to beat the index for three main reasons. The first, it's hard for the fund managers to outsmart the collective wisdom of the crowd, as suggested by the efficient market hypothesis. Second, the high management fees can eat into your returns. And third, even if a fund does well for a while, it tends to swing back to average performance over time due to something called reversion to the mean.